Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series. Our today's topic is e-credit note approval process in SAP, and we have with us today Prashant MU. He is the Manager IT Development India Novozymes South Asia Private Limited. Prashant has been working in the area of supply chain and IT at Novozymes South Asia Private Limited for the past 12 years. As the head of IT Development India, he is responsible for application support, development, resource management, and projects for Novozymes globally. He has started IT department in India in 2007 with 7 SAP consultants, and over a period of time it has grown to a team of 50 people working in both SAP and Microsoft. He is an engineering graduate from Bangalore University. Prior to joining Novozymes, he also worked with Mysore Kirloskar Limited, Harihar for 3.5 years as production engineer and later at SKF Sealing Solutions as plant engineer before joining Novozymes in 2001. We also have with us Ravi Kiran, Manager SAP Analyst Team Novozymes. Ravi Kiran is a B Pharma graduate from BITS Pilani and currently working as a manager with Novozymes with around 9 years of experience in SAP sales and distribution, core expertise in order to cache and other allied SAP modules like MM and WM. He has experience in SAP implementation, rollout and support and maintenance projects. So like we do every time, our speakers will take you all through the presentation in the first 40 or 45 minutes, and we open the session for questions in the last 15 minutes. However, request all the attendees to start sending questions from 5:30 p.m. onwards, and I will be assigning the relevant questions to both Prashant and Ravi Kiran from around 5:40 p.m. today. So without any further delay, let me hand over the session first to Prashant, and Prashant will later on hand it over to Ravi Kiran. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Prashant, and welcome you all to this TechGig session. Let me take you through my company profile. Novozymes is a Denmark-based company, and we are into industrial enzymes. We are a world leader. When I mean the world leader, we command around 47% market share, and in that enzymes accounts for 90% turnover. We have factories around the world, one being in Denmark, one being in China, in Brazil, in US, and we have around 700 products used in 130 countries. We have more than 6,500 granted patents and pending patent applications. And our sales is around 11 billion Danish kroner, that accounts to around 2 billion US dollars. And we have a strong profitability, which is around 24% enzyme income before income tax, earning before income tax. And we are around 6,000 employees worldwide. And to support this fantastic company, we have an IT department, both in Denmark and India. And in India, we do the development. And we have a team of around 50 people working for Novozymes. And this is a captive shared service center. And here we do system and solution development. And we have key technology experts who are capable of coding and configuring the IT technologies. And this team consists of both SAP and Microsoft. As I said, the main focus is to do the application support, and the users are based only in Novozymes. And the team here also participate in projects, which is mainly for the many business improvements for Novozymes. SAP team covers modules like material management, SRM, sales and distribution, warehouse management, APO, PPPI, etc. in SAP. And in Microsoft, we cover .NET, SharePoint, CRM, and business intelligence. We also have another team called IT operations, which are mainly into the ticket management, basically a kind of help desk, where the users can ask for some access and other requests. This team also takes care of the incident management, where you have many incidents happening at the same time. They also take care of the problem management, which is like if an issue is occurring again and again, and then we dig into the root cause and find out the solution. And this team and the development teams operates quite closely. And system and user administration, where it consists of assigning the proper access to the user before they access SAP or Microsoft. This is the overall picture of the team what does in India. And with this, I'll hand over the mic to my colleague Ravi Kiran, who will take you through the electronic credit note approval process. Yeah, Ravi.
I'll quickly make Ravi the presenter.
Yeah.
Ravi, just give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sri Lagna, for the introduction. And firstly, I would like to thank the audience for showing interest in this topic and spending some time to attend this webinar. And the topic is the electronic credit note approval process in SAP. And please be informed, this is the completely customized solution made for Novozymes, South Asia Private Limited. And the basic agenda of this PowerPoint presentation is to give you an idea of implementing the workflow-based approval process in SAP by leveraging SAP workflows, ABAP programming, and SAP sales and distribution module. And also in this PPT, I'm going to cover how the approvers are going to be determined automatically based on the value of the credit note, and what are the different status reports developed as a part of this customized solution to Novozymes, and how the approvers could approve the credit notes using Outlook and mobile devices. So approvers can also approve the credit notes not only using SAP, but they can also approve the credit notes using electronic gadgets like mobile devices even. So certainly it's not possible to take you through the very detailed technical coding, but yes, I'll try my best to make this presentation as simple as possible. Yeah. What are the advantages in going for a solution like this, for a solution with an automated approval process built on SAP workflows? It is very faster and less time consuming. For example, if I have to take the approvals manually, it will be a very time consuming process. The approver might be sitting in some other country sometimes, and it could be in some other department as well. So certainly I need to take all the documents and then go to that person, or scan it and then send to the person, and then take his approval and initiate the process. So certainly there is a lot of manual intervention here, and it is going to be it takes a lot of time. And it will have a better control on overview of approval process. We can even make sure that no users issue a credit note without approval process in place. And for better transparency and accountability, so at any given point of time, we can easily go through the statistics, like how many credit notes have been approved by a particular approver, or maybe how many credit notes are getting generated in a particular region. And also the compliance with external and as well as internal audits, because we have developed a couple of reports in this solution. So we have well-versed compliance with the internal and external audits, and also very easy for approvers to approve and reject. So they need not be having SAP, but still they will be able to approve the credit notes using Outlook, as I told you in the earlier slide. So there could be some beginners attending this presentation or webinar. So before I get into further slides, I'm going to use the term called credit memo or credit note interchangeably. So here I made an attempt to give an exact definition of what is a credit memo exactly. So credit memos are requested during order processing in sales and distribution and are used to clear amounts that are to be reimbursed. And also I have given you the reasons in which scenario we issue a credit notes to the customers. Suppose if the customer complains that the price was miscalculated. So in case of any price discrepancies, suppose I have issued an invoice to a customer with a very high price, and then I want to give back the price difference as a compensation, then I'll go ahead and issue a credit note to the customer. And sometimes in case if the goods are damaged in transit and it's not worth taking the goods back, so in that case even I will go ahead and issue a credit note to my customer. And all the time, and also like if the customer complains, for instance, that goods were faulty, and you take the goods back and inspect, and you feel like, yeah, my customer has to be credited. So in that case, also you issue a credit note. But in the last case, it need not always be issuing a credit note. It could be like you could even do a subsequent delivery free of charge. But there is an instance where you could even give a credit note to the customer. So this is how the credit memo request looks in SAP. But there is a difference between the credit memo and credit memo request. So credit memo is a billing document, whereas credit memo request is the sales document in SAP. This is how the credit memo request looks like, but it could vary from client to client. If you do some customization on this screen, it might look different for other clients. But more or less, this is a standard credit memo request look. And this is a sales document. So first, user will raise a credit memo request in the system, and once if it is approved by the approver, then user will try to convert this credit memo request into a credit memo, which is the billing document. Nothing but we have issued the credit note to the customer. So if you look at my screen on the top hand side left corner, you see an icon. That icon is called a services per object icon. That is a place where the user, where the initiator uses the icon to trigger the workflow. I mean, he'll go and start the workflow, meaning you are submitting this credit memo request for the approval. So you can see a lot of details on the screen, like the customer number, the customer name, and what are the different materials and the value of the credit note. For example, you can see on my screen the value of this credit memo request is 1300 Malaysian ringgit. So you are going to make a request, and you are going to send this request for an approval to the approver to approve the request. Before the user sends the request for the approval, he or she will use this workflow icon to attach all the supporting documents necessary for the approver to go through all the details about this customer, and then could able to take a decision whether he or she could go ahead and approve this credit memo request. So once after the user attaches all the relevant documents here, he can even make a note why this credit memo request is going to be issued to the customer. And then once if they start the workflow, the approver will receive the mail saying that he or she needs to approve this credit memo request. But before getting to the approval process, I would like to brief you about a few important elements like partner functions. Basically, what is a partner function? Like any person who is involved in the business with either directly or indirectly is created as a partner in SAP. You could see the screen here. I mean, we are on slide number 6. And this screenshot has got all the information for all the relevant partners related to this credit memo request. So this information is available on the header screen, the partners tab of the credit memo request. For example, here you can see the partner functions like sold to party, like he's the customer who is going to place an order for us. On the bill to party, he's the person or he's the customer who is going to receive the invoice, and the payer is the partner function who is going to pay in case of goods, and in this case it's a credit memo request, so we are going to pay him. And likewise we have another partner function on the screen, that is ship to party. This partner function is going to receive the goods. So everybody, whoever is either directly or indirectly involved in the business, will be represented as a partner function in SAP. So every partner will have one unique ID, as you can see in the column called partner here. It is represented by a unique number. And I would like to tell you about the partner function sales representative here. So in our case, he's the person who will be in touch with the customer. So for example, if a sales representative is handling around 100 customers, so we are going to tag this sales representative to all these 100 customers as a partner function. Actually, all this data is maintained in the customer master, and when I create a credit memo request with reference to this customer, all the data will flow from customer to the credit memo request. So it doesn't mean like you have to enter all the partner functions individually in the credit memo request level. You maintain in one shot in the customer, and when you create a credit memo request with reference to this customer, all the partner functions will get copied to this credit memo request. And the more important partner function which I am referring right now is the sales representative, which is a crucial partner function for this credit note approval functionality. So he's the person right now, for example, Rosa Kristen is the sales representative who is in touch base with this customer, or who is responsible for this account. And I'm going to talk about output determination. So before I talk about output determination, we should know what is output type. Output type is nothing. Output type is generally used to generate a printout, which will have all the information about that particular document in SAP. And this can be used as an internal document for our records, or you can even send it to the customer. If you send it to a customer, yes, it will be a legal document, or you can even have this printout for your records even. But in this case, credit note approval request is purely an internal document because it is not yet approved. This is the first document that is going to be created in the process of generating a credit note. I tried to show you how the output looks like when we try to take the print of that particular output type. And here we are using the output type BA00, but we have modified the title to say that credit note approval request. So this will have all the information about this credit memo request. You can see the logo of the company and the title of the printout, and who is the customer. But I could not take the screenshot of the complete printout, but at the bottom of the printout you also have the details about the materials and the value of the credit note and the registered office details. So everything you will have it. But certainly as of now, as I told you, this is not a legal document because this is not approved by approval, so I cannot share it with anybody. I have to keep it for internal reference. And yes, this output will be determined automatically based on the technique called condition technique, which is widely used in sales and distribution. And basically, we assign a procedure, output determination procedure, to the document type. Here in this case, the credit memo request. And this works on the technique called condition technique. And the third one is the billing block. So billing block on the credit memo request plays a very crucial role or a critical role by not allowing the initiator to go ahead with the invoicing without approval in place. Yes, no, the moment I create a credit memo request, by default system will apply this block so that the initiator will not be able to create the credit note or will not be able to issue the invoice to the customer unless it is approved by the relevant approvers. And certainly we made sure like no user will have access to remove this billing block. This concept of this can be purely handled by the authorization concept in SAP. So only very few users like super users will be having the access to remove the billing block because in case of any workflow issues or any other technical problems, we don't want the business to suffer. So in this case, we can request the super users to override the billing block, and so that the user will be able to go ahead and create the invoice, that is credit note here. But in this automated solution, the block would be removed automatically in the background once after the final approvers approves the credit memo request. So there could be multiple approvers based on the value of the credit note. If value is very less, there could be one approver. If the value is very high, there could be multiple approvers to approve the credit memo request. And also once after the block is removed by system will automatically try to create the credit memo in the backend referring to the credit memo request. So always credit memo or the credit note is issued in the system with reference to the credit memo request which we are talking right now. So how to determine the approval? So very crucial step in the functionality. As I told you earlier, the number of approvers will be determined based on the value of the credit memo request. So generally we have in our organization first the credit memo request should be approved by all the sales people, and once after all the sales people approves the credit memo request, then it will go to the finance department. And it's a step-by-step approval. One approver will approve. Once if it approves, if the approver approves it, then it will go to the next approver, and then so on. It depends upon the value. And yes, as I told you, first approver is determined based on the partner function called the sales representative or the account manager maintained at the document header level. So this piece of information we are getting from the customer master. And then from customer master it will flow to the credit memo request. And then our function module will use this data to determine the first approver and in the flow. And all further approvers are determined based on the RFC function, RFC enabled function module which fetches the data from SAP HR. So already we have a SAP HR in place with all the organization data in place. So already I have the first approver. So I'll pass this first approver to the function module, and I'll ask the function module to fetch the chief of that approver from SAP HR system. So that way we are reusing the data that is already existing in my SAP HR system. And this function module, yeah, as I told you, this function module will pass the first approval to SAP HR and get the chief of that person. And as such, in our SAP HR setup, there is no clear-cut demarcation between the sales and the finance. There is no field that says this person belongs to salesperson or this person belongs to finance. So just to have a clear-cut demarcation between the sales approvers and the finance approvers, so we have come up with a functionality called job family, so which we are maintaining in a Z table. So Z table is nothing but a table that is created in the database to store some values. So for example, if the value of the credit memo request is $10,000 US, and against this value, I'll say yes, this credit memo request has to be approved by approver who has got the job family as 4. So the system will keep on finding out the approvers till the job family of the final approver is 4. Once it will find the job family of the, once it finds the job family of the approver is 4, then it will assume, yes, this is the final approver for this credit memo request. And then it will go to the finance department, where all the finance managers are once again maintained in the Z table. So it will find out the finance manager from the Z table, and subsequent managers in the finance department will be determined from the SAP HR, similar to the sales people. And this is how the approver screen looks like. So the first screenshot is nothing but the SAP Business Workplace, and the transaction code is SBWP. If you have a logon pad, if you get into the SAP and get into this transaction code, and if you expand your left-hand column, you can get to the work items that are pending for your approval. And the second screenshot is nothing but the SAP Universal Work List, which is the portal form of SAP. In this case, in the second case, you need not have SAP logon pad, but yes, it's a URL. Just click on the link when you are in your Office network, and it will take you to the Universal Work List. It's nothing but the mirror image of the SAP, but it's only the web form or the portal form. And also, if you just look at the first screenshot, you can clearly see the title. It has got the credit memo request number. So every credit memo request, once after I save, and then I submit it for once after I save the credit memo request, it will have the system will generate a unique number, which can be achieved by using number range functionality in SAP. So each and every credit memo request is differentiated by a unique number. And this is the custom screen developed using the module pool programming. And this has got all the information, and certainly by looking at this screen, approver should be able to take the decision whether to approve or reject the credit memo request. So this screen will pop up once after you double click on the work item in the service market, in the business marketplace, or on the universal work list. So if you can see on the top of this screen, there are many buttons. The first one is to approve the credit memo request, and basically the reject is to reject the credit memo request. And you can also see the credit memo request that has been created in the system, which I showed you on in the earlier slides. And you can also see the print of that credit memo request. Suppose if I would like to take the print out of this credit memo request, yes, I can click on this button and then go for print. But somehow I'm not feeling confident with the information that is provided on the screen, or maybe I would like to take some opinion from my manager. I could even forward the information, this information to my manager to take his suggestion whether to approve or reject it. I can even do that. But though I'm forwarding the information, it doesn't mean the ownership lies with my manager. It will be still lying with me. I'm supposed to either approve or reject this credit memo request. And on the next screen, you can also see many other details like the credit memo request number and the reference document number. Sometimes I create this credit memo request with reference to some earlier invoice. So in that case, that value will come here. You can also see for against which invoice you are issuing this credit memo, and the document, the date on which this particular credit memo request is created, and for which company code, and what is the value, what is the currency, who is the customer, and who has created this credit memo request, and the net value as well as the approval value. So we are given two values because approval value is nothing but the net value plus taxes. And you can see there are 4 windows here. One is to enter the comments by the approver. suppose if you want to give some comments, if you want to reject this particular credit memo request, yes, you can key in some comments here, and then you can go ahead and reject it, or otherwise you can even approve it. And you can also see the approver log. Suppose if I'm the fourth approver in the approval process who is approving this credit note, I could see who are all has approved this credit memo request in this approver log. Maybe, for example, you can see already the person JCLM has approved this on so and so date without any comments. And on the right hand side there is a window called notes submitted by document creator. Here you can see some information given by the initiator, and also the attachment list. Sometimes initiator will attach a lot of documents. They could be it could be some calculation sheets, or maybe the reason why they are giving the credit to this customer. So approver can see all that information as an attachment list here. He can double click on these attachments, and he can go through the details of the background why he needs to approve or reject this credit memo request. So this has got all the information so that the approver can confidently take the decision here. And it's completely Z-Screen developed by Module Pool Programming. And background jobs. So before I get into this slide, I would like to define what is a background job exactly. So background job is nothing but like any program getting executed in the background in a certain interval. So it's up to you how you schedule the interval to run that program automatically in the background. So we have set up a couple of background jobs in this functionality. One is to generate an approval request mail to an approver with all the basic details of the credit memo request. So once if there is any work item for any approver, this program will determine the approver, and then it will trigger an offline mail. It will trigger a mail to this particular approver with an attachment, with a PDF attachment of that printout which we have discussed earlier, and all the basic information about the customer and the value of the credit memo request in a mail. So basically this program will help us to generate the mails to the approver with an attachment. Approval mail also contains the output print which we have generated using the output type BA00 as a PDF attachment to give the complete details to the approver in order to make the decision. And we also have one more job which is scheduled to only read the responses given by the approvers through mail and change the status of the work item accordingly in SAP. Maybe I'll get back to this point further after going to another couple of slides so that you can understand in a much better way. And certainly the frequency of the jobs could be decided based upon the requirement. So you can schedule the jobs once in 3 hours or once in 5 hours, or maybe once in a day. It depends upon the business need. But yes, we have created 2 programs. One program is to generate a mail, to trigger a mail to the approver with an attachment, and one is to read the response given through the Outlook by the approver. So this is the mail, how it looks like, which gets generated with the help of the first program. So earlier we also seen the custom screen where all information is available. So that screen is accessible only when you are in SAP. But you can also see more or less the similar information on this mail. So this is another advantage. Though you are not connected to SAP, still you could see the details of this customer. So here you can see the credit memo request here, and you can also see the links like approve by email or reject by email. But you can either take only one of these decisions, either you approve or reject. And you can also use logon link to get into the universal worklist, which I showed you earlier. And this has got all the basic information about the customer, the amount, and who has created this request. what's the customer name, or which company code you are issuing this credit note. Suppose if I'm an approver and I would like to approve this, I'll go ahead and click on this approve by email. So please be informed that I need not have any SAP installed in my system. I just need only the Outlook. I might be traveling, so then I can approve by using this link. So that way, one advantage is it is very fast and very easy as well. So you need not wait for the approver to come back from the travel, or maybe they could be on vacation, but still they can approve by using this link. The same way you can access it in any of the mobile iPhone, and still you can approve by clicking on this link. And also you can see the approval history at the end of this mail. Approval history is nothing but a log. Suppose a few approvers would have already approved before you, earlier to you, and if you would like to see the comments made by those approvers, you can see the log. You can see the approval history here mentioned on this mail. This is how the mail looks. Suppose if I click on the link approve, as I showed you in the earlier screen, you get this mail automatically, and still you can make some comments here, and then you can just click on send. So basically, how system will know whether it has been approved or rejected, because this is completely Microsoft Outlook, and we have developed a solution in SAP. So basically, the logic behind this functionality is the moment I click on send, the mail will be sent to the WF batch user, which is the background user in SAP. And the subject line is very important for this logic to work. The subject line on this mail is very important for this logic to work. So once after the approver clicks on send, this mail will go to the WF batch user in SAP, WF batch user mailbox. And then we discussed about the second program, which will evaluate the response of the approver. The second program will pick those mails which are landed in WF batch user based on the subject line, and try to read the response. So because the subject line will vary for the approve as well as rejected. So with that, it will come to know whether this person has approved or rejected, and accordingly it will set the status of the work item as approved or rejected, and it will go to the next approver if it is relevant. So this is the basic funda in making this offline approval work. But only disadvantage with this Outlook approval process is the action might not be immediate. Suppose if I approve in SAP, yes, you can easily, the system will update the workflow status immediately, and it will go to the next approver. But in case of approving the credit memo request to a mail, it takes some time, because we have set up some background jobs. Suppose if I set up a background job to get executed once in 3 hours, so ideally it takes 3 hours for me to read the response and update the system. So that is only disadvantage. There is some delay in getting the approver action reflected in SAP. And we are on slide 15 now, and this is about dunning. Like any other functionality, yes, like we also have dunning in SAP. So with this functionality, we'll be able to send the reminders to the approvers. So we have set up the dunning in such a way it will send 3 reminders. The first reminder is to the approver with a copy to the initiator. So initiator is the person who is very curious to know whether his credit memo request has been approved or not. So always the initiator will be copied, and reminder 2 will also with the same recipients, the approver as well as the initiator. But in case of reminder 3, it will go to the approver with a copy to his or her manager as well as the initiator. So that will help us in speeding up the approval process. And yes, as a fourth reminder, the work item gets back to the initiator to take appropriate action if the approver doesn't respond to all the 3 reminders. The initiator can forward it to some other approver, or he can exactly find out what is the issue, or maybe he can even forward the request to the same approver and ask him to approve it. So again, the intervals of the reminders depends upon the frequency that you set up. But here we have used a C table, nothing but a database table where we clearly guide the system like in how many days the first reminder should go, and when the reminder 2 should go, or when the reminder 3 should go, and when the work item should get back to the initiator so that he can take the appropriate action. So again, the frequency of the running depends upon your business case. And exception handling, yes, it is very critical for this functionality, because if something goes wrong in the system, the initiator or the approver will not know what has happened in the background, so nobody will be able to take the corrective action. So so we have something like alerts which are generated as a part of SAP exception handling by using the methods in the workflow. So yes, there are many cases here in which the initiator will be intimated in case if system finds any problem, or if it cannot proceed further. So I've given a few exceptions here on this slide. The first exception handling is like initiator will be notified through mail if system could not find the valid approver. Suppose system tried to determine some approver who is not a valid user in SAP HR. Maybe you would have resigned and left, but still HR data is not yet updated, or maybe there could be some delay in getting updated. So in that case, yes, the initiator will be intimated saying that he is not a valid approver, or maybe the validity periods may not be correct. And also, initiator will be notified if system could not create the billing document automatically. As I told you earlier, if all the approvers approve the credit memo request, system will try to remove the billing block in the background, and it will try to create the billing document on its own automatically. So there is no manual intervention at all. It's complete automatic solution. So this we could achieve with the help of BDC system. Yeah, will try to remove the block and it will go for billing. In case if system could not create the billing document because of many reasons, so it will notify the initiator saying that it could not create the billing document, or this particular step is not successful, so please take some corrective actions. So in that case, initiator has to rectify the problem, and he or she should able to create the billing document manually. And yes, sometimes system will try to create the invoice, but it will not be released to accounting. So only the credit values will be reflecting in the accounting upon the successful release of the billing document to accounting. So sometimes billing document creation could be successful, but it might not be passed to accounting successfully. So even in that case, initiator will be notified saying that this particular billing document is not passed to accounting, so please get into action. So there could be many reasons why the billing document is not released to accounting. Maybe because of posting period error, or maybe GL account problems or account determination problems. So there could be a number of problems in releasing it to accounting. Yes, I'm coming to the reports part. Yes, we have developed a couple of reports as a part of this custom functionality. And these reports are very helpful for the users to track the credit memo request status at any given point of time. I'm the initiator, I'm not getting any mails or neither any alerts about a particular request number. So I just wanted to understand with whom this request is pending with. What has happened exactly, whether this request has been approved or still it is in process or it has been rejected. So I don't have any clue what has happened to this request. Then I'll get into this Z report developed, and this is how the UI, the user interface looks for this screen. You just need to give in a request a number, the credit memo request, because you already have that information as an initiator with you. Just key in that request number and then execute. Then report will show all the details as in the second screenshot. So it will give you the document number and the reference document. Reference document, as I told you earlier, sometimes I create the credit memo request with reference to some other invoice. So if I create this request with reference to some other document, yes, that document will also appear here. And there is another column called pending with. So with this we will come to know with whom the request is pending. So it will show the ID or initials. It depends upon how you configure here. And the document creation date and the net value, the currency, the customer number, the name, country, company code. So it depends upon how you customize this report based on your requirement. And yes, if billing document gets created automatically, it will also show the billing document here and the accounting document as well, and the workflow status is completed. So in this case, I'll come to know, okay, this particular request has been successfully approved by all the sales people as well as the finance people. And so right now it is in completed status. Even billing document got created and released to accounting successfully. So this is an interactive report developed. Once after you double click on the line item which was shown in the earlier slide, you get into this custom screen. This is more or less the same screen visible for approvers, but there is some difference between this screen and the screen custom screen which we have seen earlier. If you just closely observe on the top of this screen, you don't have the buttons like approve or reject, because this is just a report and this is just for an information. Particularly this credit memo request is approved by the approver. I want to go through the approver log as well, and as well as the attachments attached to this report or to this credit memo request. So I have all those details except the approve and reject. And this is another report which we have developed, and this is a very exhaustive report, and you can see many fields on the selection criteria. You can slice and dice the information as per your requirement. Maybe sometimes auditors might ask for some specific information. Yes, you can easily take out this report and then cater to the needs of audit purposes as well. You can see credit memo request number, sales organization, distribution channel, the division. So there are many fields here. So I can take out the credit memo request created for a particular sales area, which is nothing but sales organization, distribution channel, and division combination. I want to see how many credit notes got approved by a particular approver, and I want to know how many reports, how many credit memo requests are still in process state, or how many got rejected, or how many got approved. So this will give you a very exhaustive information. As you see on the screen, it has got many fields to query the report. And this is how the output screen looks like. So you have many columns here. Credit memo request, the final approver from sales, finance, the document date, net value. And you can also see the workflow status in the last column, if any reference doc number. So certainly this will help you a lot in taking a lot of information from the system. So certainly this can be configured as per the business needs or as per your needs. So with this, I complete the presentation. Once again, I thanks a lot for attending this webinar. And maybe you can ask if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thank you.
If you could quickly take a look at your questions window. I have assigned you 4 or 5 questions so far. You can start taking them, and we have around 10 more minutes before we wrap up today's session.
Questions? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just. So, yeah, Kannan has asked what are the conditions in SPRO for output determination. As I told you, this is completely a standard SAP configuration. It works on condition technique. Basically, you need to create the table with whatever combination on which you would like to determine the output, and then you need to create an access sequence and then attach the access sequence to the output type, and then the procedure will have a lot of output types, and then you attach, you tag the output determination procedure to the document type. Ashir is asking, do SAP HR also give approval in RFC enabled function module? I'm not very clear with the question, but yes, we have developed a function module which is RFC enabled. This will take the initial approval as an input, and it will send the data to SAP HR. Yes, you should have an RFC connection established between ECC and your SAP HR system. So it will go and get the chief of that particular approver. And how can you make? Yeah, this is next. Shishir Agarwal asked, how can you make sure that same person have approved to whom the mail was intended? Of course, you should test thoroughly before you deploy the changes into production whether the approval hierarchy is working perfectly. So maybe you should run through a lot of test cycles and make sure the system is picking the right approver as it is supposed to. I think Ashir is trying to ask one more question. Ashir, maybe it's not very clear for me. Surely I would love to answer to your question, and I'll surely get back to you. So can you just please drop a mail to me? My mail ID is svik@novozymes.com. S for Singapore, V for Victory, R for Ravi, K for Kingdom. So please drop a mail to this mail ID. Certainly, definitely I'll get back to you for your query.
Thank you so much, Ravi. We are getting few more questions. Let me assign you one quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, I have assigned you 2 more questions, one from Ranka and one from Rasika.
Yeah, Rasika is asking, do we have any SLAs for e-credit note approval and or any incidents created if alerts are triggered? As I told you earlier, this is completely a custom solution. It depends upon the business need. Certainly, yes, in our case, the first reminder will go after 3 days. and if they don't respond after 4 days, the second reminder will go, and another 3 days after that again in another 3 days the third reminder will go, and if they don't respond, the work item will come back, and then the initiator will take the necessary action. Yes, whenever they get any incidents, whenever they get any alerts saying that the approval is not valid, then certainly they'll raise an IT ticket to the support team, and we will do the needful. Yeah, Ranka Sahu is asking, if you don't have any HR module implemented, where can we maintain all the list of approvers? It's a very good question, Ranka. Yes, you can maintain it in a Z table, or but you can maintain it in a Z table, no doubt about it, but that will be a tedious task for you. If not SAP HR, there could be some other HR module even. Maybe you can use, you can interface that with PI, and maybe you can get some information. That is a very high level solution. But maybe to your question, I think you can use Z table, but which is very exhaustive in maintaining the table.
All the questions we have received so far, Ravi.
Yeah.
So as you said, people actually can take up questions offline with you as well. They can either send us a mail with their queries, and you can answer them back, or they can email you directly. I would like to thank you and Prashant for this wonderful presentation and taking some questions today. For all the attendees, today's...
Sri Lagna?
Yes. Yes, Prashant.
Prashant here.
Hi,
Can
Prashant.
I make one closing remark?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Thank you all for attending this session, and hope you must have got some good information about this. And Nozymes as a company, it believes in sustainable solutions, and they care about the environment. When we started this project, the main aim was to reduce the waste. Earlier, the credit notes were done manually, and they were on paper, and many paperwork has been reduced after we implement this project. And I would encourage you all to go back to your organization and try to implement such solutions which not only reduce the waste and also help the environment. And thank you.
Thank you, Prashant.
And if you have any questions, you can also mail me. My email ID is mupr@novozymes.com.
Sure. And Ravi, if you again could, if you could quickly tell your, give your email IDs to our attendees, because some of them are requesting for the same.
Yeah, it's SVRK, S for Singapore, V for Victory, R for Russia, K for Kingdom, SVRK@novozymes.com, NOVOZYMES.com.
All right. With that note, we
clear.
come. Yes. Thank you so much, Ravi. So with that note, we come to the end of today's session. And once again, thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Ravi. Attendees, please get in touch with us or with the speakers for any further queries, and please keep an eye for the recorded version of today's webinar on techgeek.com tomorrow afternoon. Once again, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on board. Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah, thanks, Selena.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.